Hello, it's Fiona Whitten from Oakfield Crafts. I hope you're keeping well. It's Wednesday, which means it's time for some stamping. And today I'm going to share with you how to make this really cute fun fold card. It's really easy to make. Obviously, you can use whatever paper you want to use. I'm using the Penguin Playmates Designer Series paper, which starting next week on the 3rd of August, you can get for free with a £45 spend, because for 2 months, starting on the 3rd of August to the end of September, we have a second celebration this year. So lots of exciting things available. Can't share the catalogue in person, sadly, not yet anyway, but I will be doing a Facebook Live next week when I'll be running through the catalogue, both the mini catalogue and the celebration catalogue. But I'll show you quickly what the paper looks like, and also what the coordinating stamp set and punch look like that are in the mini catalogue. So the paper that you can get with a £45 spend are sheets of 12 by 12. I just happen to have cut them in half, and some of them are a bit nibbled at because I've been using them for various things. So we have a sheet that has foxes and bears and penguins. Now this particular penguin you can actually punch out. So this is the Penguin Builder Punch. So this is part of the penguin bundle that is in the mini catalogue. And you just simply need to turn your punch upside down so you can see what you're doing. And you just slot it in, and look, amazingly enough, it fits neatly around that penguin, she says. Excuse me a second whilst I just sort of raise it up slightly so I can see it. So, and then you just punch out. You do end up, because it's a double punch, you do end up with a little bit of whatever's next to it. So that's the polar bear face, which is actually very cute. I'm sure I could probably find something to use it for, but anyway. So if you want to save on your polar bears and things, then if you just simply cut around these sort of vaguely, and then use a post-it note to hold it in, as like a handle, then it would be easier to punch. And then obviously you then keep the other images complete, and then you can cut them and do whatever it is you like with that. So that's the first paper. On the other side is this is just jade, so it's just sort of a dotted, I guess you could, it almost looks like grass from a distance. So then we have a cute sheet that has smaller polar bears and penguins and foxes, and I guess that's a hare. And then on the other side we have some dots. So we've got dots that are in Misty Moonlight, Just Jade, Soft Sea Foam, and Fresh Freesia. The background here is Balmy Blue. So then we have, again, still smaller images. So we have polar bears and penguins, and so as you can tell, it's really into penguins and polar bears. And we have trees on the other side. Yeah, I think actually, looking at it, it's penguins, foxes, and polar bears. This one slightly large. These are larger images if you look compared to here, but these ones are pretty easy to fussy cut out. And then on the reverse, we've got Misty Moonlight stripes, which kind of makes your eyes go a bit funny. I don't know. I like stripes, but sometimes they're just, ooh. And then we have some more. This time we've got penguins on a sleigh, or sledge I should say, being pulled by the polar bear. Lots of little fun images. And then we've got just fresh freesia snowflakes. And then the last one, which I think is really, really cute. So we've got much larger polar bears and penguins. And then even little trees that you could cut out, obviously use a background, and some stripes. So that's the paper that, so it's a pack of 12, so it's 2 each of each of the 6 different sheets of paper. And as I said, that is free with a £45 spend. And then we also have the Penguin Place stamp set. So this penguin that I've made on this original card, I cheated because I punched out a piece of basic black using this bit here. And then I punched out a piece of basic white for this piece. And then the feet here, this is a foot. So you need to punch 2 of these out. And I use Calypso Coral. And then once I'd punched the basic white, I stamped. So I've stamped on here the eyes. The nice thing about the eyes is that, where are they? They're here. They come as one piece. So yeah, you could still end up with slightly wonky offset eyes. So this is the one piece here. I'm not going to take it out because I don't know that I'm going to be doing any stamping, but anyway, so that's the one piece. Where have I put it? I saw it a second ago. Oh heck, there it is here. So those are the eyes. And then also you've got all sorts other bits. So you've got parcels, you've got bow ties, you've got 2 sorts of beaks, because you've got a penguin standing up, in which case you use this little one here. So it's the one that looks like a V, like this. So this penguin, I've stamped the eyes, I've stamped the beak, and I stamped the bow tie. And then the rest of it was for punching. And then you also have a penguin that is lying down and looks like he's going down a slope. So this stamp here, I'll just show you from the cover because it's probably easier to see. This stamp here is the slope, so you can have him coming down the slope, and then his beak is this one. So it's just, it still looks like a triangle, but this time it's got the opening going to the side rather than having the V shape. And then obviously you can decorate your penguin as much as you like. So there's hats, scarves, reindeer antlers, there's little hearts, there's all sorts of bow tie, all sorts of bits and pieces. This image here is for the balloon. And then obviously you've got you've got 2 little parcels, a little tree, some snow, and then some sentiments. So I don't know about you, I have actually got a lot of birthdays around Christmas time, and I don't normally send Christmas cards. It's Christmas type cards as birthday cards, but this year I'm kind of tempted to with the penguins. So it's my daughter's birthday actually on Christmas Day, so I can just see me using the penguin here and doing a happy birthday. These sentiments actually fit nicely into that balloon. Right, so that's the stamp set. There's a coordinating punch, so you can get them individually or as a bundle. The bundle, actually, I think is an absolute bargain. It's £29.50 for both items, and that saves you 10% on the 2 separate items. So get that, throw in some cardstock and other basic supplies, and then I'm sure you will get up to the £45 and you can get the paper for free. Yippee! But anyway, so that's a little bit about the celebration and the penguins. So I'm now going to show you how to make this card. It is really, really simple, and it's up to you how you decorate it. So you can use paper, you can just use white cardstock and emboss or stamp. it's really, really up to you. But I'm going to show you how to do the basic card. So to start off with, you are going to need your, well, first of all, I'm actually going to use some of the paper, just so that you know, because it makes it sort of relatively quick to make. And just trying to decide what I want to use. I want something that's not so fussy, she says. Actually, I think I can't decide whether to go with the lines. Actually, I'm going to go with the lines for these pieces here. And I'm going to go with the one with the bigger image on for, oops, we got one that's the balmy blue one. Oh, that's what I'm using, typical, isn't it? So maybe I won't use that, maybe I'll use, don't know, where is the other large images? That one and that one. Oh, no, you know what, I am going to, so I'm going to use that for the reverse, and I'm going to use that to decorate. Okay, so once I've decided, now that I've decided on the paper, I can decide which pieces of cardstock. So I'm going to use the Misty Moonlight, because that's going to tie in with the scarf and the paper. Now I could use soft sea foam. I don't think Calypso Coral's the right colour. Now, I also have some scrap, because I'm kind of short on things. So I think I'm actually going to use some balmy blue. And I know I'll have enough there. Right. Okay. So, first thing we want to do is obviously put everything that we're not immediately using to one side, so we don't end up cutting it. And we're going to bring in our trimmer. Now I need to pull the arm out. So I don't know how much of this you'll be able to see. Hopefully enough. Oops, put that down. Move that out of the way. I'm trying to put these in places so I can still reach them. Oh, it's going to end up on the floor. That's no good. That's it. Right. So we've got a sheet of A4. And that measures 29.7 long, and then that is 21 centimetres. These are both centimetres wide. Now I need to cut it down to 28 centimetres, like so. So you have the long side at the top, and put your one corner at the 28 centimetre mark, and then just simply cut down. Then you're going to turn it so that the shorter side is at the top, and line a top corner up with 14 centimetres. And again, you can cut up or down, it makes no difference. So that is the first part of that base card. And then we're going to turn it again. And this time we're going to have the long side at the top, and we are going to score it in half at 14 centimetres. So remember to make sure that your cutting blade is out of the way. So I'm going to use my scoring blade to score there, like so. Now, for those of you who, and some of you may find it easier, some of you may find it's just quicker, what you now want to do is, taking this piece of cardstock, you want to measure and find the middle of this 14 centimetres here. So it's at 7 centimetres. So you might want to mark and then draw a line across, or you could be brave like I'm doing. So what I'm going to do is I am going to line this up with the 7 centimetre mark, so on that corner. So that means I know that that piece here is the middle. Now if I use my trimming blade, I'm not going to cut yet, in fact I might even lift it up. The blade actually has two lines, two indents on the top. So I know that when I bring this down and it matches up with the score line, then I have lined up and brought the blade down to the score line. So that is what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to bring it down, and then when it gets there, I am going to stop. Like so. I'm going slightly over because I was not actually directly above it. And then you want to simply, so you've got your card facing you with the short side and the cut at the top, and then you want to simply cut off here. So I'm just going to use a pair of paper snips to do that. So I'm just going to cut directly down that crease. There we go. And then I'm going to fold this piece over. And that is your basic card. Okay, so how you then decorate it, I've got all the cutting instructions for this, and I will take you through that as well. So I'm going to use, as I said, I'm going to use some balmy blue. Now, where have I put my original? Oh, here it is. So I'm going to cut some rectangles, and you actually need 4 of them. So you need 1, 2, oh no, you need 3 of them, sorry, 3 of them. So those are 3 that measure 6.5 by 13.5 centimetres. So, and I'm also going to need a square. So I'm going to need a square of 10 by 10. So you know what I'm going to cut, because I'm kind of short on. Actually, this should come out first. Should be fine. Yeah, I don't need to worry about it. So I'm going to cut my 3 lots of 6.5 by 13.5 first. So I'm just going to bring this in, line it up with 13.5, cut down, and then I'm going to turn it and cut hopefully 3 lots of 6.5. 1, 2, 3. So that's my 3 lots of 6.5, like that. And I'm going to vary this one slightly. So I'm just going to, and I'm going to cut this, the next piece, you want a 10 centimetre square. That's 10. So that's that piece. I don't need that bit. And that's the card, which I do not want to cut up. That would be a complete disaster. So once you've got your base card in, you've got your 3 pieces of rectangle. So you're going to have one here, and one on the inside. And then this piece will go on the front, like so. Now you can either use white or a second colour, or third colour even. So this time I'm going to use white, because I think that will be a nice offset to the stripes that I'm going to use. So you're going to need 2 lots of, actually you're going to need 3 lots of 6 centimetres by 13 centimetres. So I'm just going to cut this at 13 and cut 3 lots of these. So that's 6 by 13. Like so. And then I need to cut a piece of square. So there is a fair amount of cutting, but really there's not much else that you really need to do. So I'm going to cut now a square of 9.5 by 9.5. I don't know if you've noticed, but basically each time you go to 9.5, glue a piece inside, it's like 0.5 centimetre smaller than the previous piece. So that is that. Let's put those somewhere, and then bring in the paper. So the paper, no, am I going to change my mind? I don't think so, because I've already cut everything. So what I need to do is I need to cut, so I'm going to, actually before I do that, I'm going to just basically show you how it all goes together. So you have your square, and the square piece of paper goes on top of that. So I've got my balmy blue, and then I've got my whisper white on top. Now we've cut 3 of these, so each of these will have a piece of whisper white on. Now this piece at the bottom, you're not going to add anything extra to that, simply because that's where you can put your sentiment on. But if you want to stamp or stick something on it, then I would suggest you do that before you glue everything together. And then you'll have these pieces here. So I need to cut 3 pieces of the patterned paper that will sit inside this. Do I want, and the $64 million question is, do I want my stripes to go this way or that way? I think I'm going to go that way. So we know that these are 13 centimetres wide, and let's just double check. Yep, and they are 6 centimetres tall. So I need to cut 3 pieces which are 12.5 by 5.5. I said, wasn't it? So that's 1. 2. And 3. So I've got 3 pieces. So they will sit neatly in those rectangles, like so. Now I could actually then still use this piece to go in the middle there. And the question is that what I want to do? Do I want, if I put it in that corner, then at least you've got pretty much, you know what, that's what I'm going to do. So let's see, I need to refresh my own memory now. The white was, or is I should say, 9.5 by 9.5. So this piece of paper I need to cut to 9 by 9. Oops, I'm going to chop the fox's ears off, but oh well. Okay, so put that to one side. So we're pretty much at a point now where we can start gluing this together. So we got this, we got all these pieces here, so I'm going to get my glue. And I would suggest, is what you do is you put these 3 panels that look like this together, and you can put the square together. That's assuming you're not just simply going to stamp or emboss on it. So when you come to putting it together, it's just, she says, actually I don't know there's much glue in there. Hopefully there's more in this one. No, come on. is glue in it, I'm sure. I can hear it. Yeah, there we go. So we're just going to glue these on. And then you should end up with a border around each piece when you glue it. As I was saying, when you start gluing these on, I would suggest that first of all you glue this front panel, because then everything else is lined up with that. If you glue the back and you make it a little bit wonky and then you just try and match it so that it all kind of looks like it's all in line, then you'll find that by the time you come to do the front, it's definitely out. So if you do this piece first, like so, you can then make sure then that this piece is lined up with it. So obviously you want to try and match it so that these lines are completely in line, so that when you come to do, when you open this, you then can do the one on the inside, and then you know that they are all perfectly lined up with each other. So that's just my little tip for doing that one. So this is the finished card is a 14 by 14 centimetre square, and I don't normally make square cards, but it should fit into I'm trying to think what size the square cards are. Well, it'll fit definitely into a 6 by 6 envelope, so that shouldn't be an issue when it came to posting in the UK. I'm just going to turn this around so that I can line it up properly. Any of you in the US, I know square cards costs more to post. Because apparently they have to be done by hand, which I never quite understood, but anyway. So I've got all that lined up, which is good. And then I can do this one. Now actually I'm not going to glue this just yet because I'm not sure what I'm going to do on the inside. I'm going to decorate it a bit, but I don't know what with. And then I'm going to glue this. Now when it comes to fixing this to your card front, it's really up to you. Obviously you don't want to be gluing it flat to both pieces because then you won't be able to open the card. But if you just want to glue it, or if you want to use dimensionals, that's your choice. Obviously, the taller the card, or the thicker the card, then the more it costs to post. The first one that I did, I glued directly because I knew that I wanted to add some other things which would add the height or the thickness. So. But what you do want to do is you want to make sure that you are gluing that in the middle so that you have a nice border all the way around. So that's what I'm going to do. So make sure that you only put the glue on the bottom portion and double check which is the bottom portion before you start gluing it. It's nothing worse than putting it on the top portion. Well, obviously it doesn't matter if you've got a bit of paper that that's non-directional, but if it has got directions, then it could be a bit of a disaster. So I'm just going to put that in the middle. I think I might have managed it first time. Press that down, and then obviously double check to make sure that you don't have any glue squelching out there, because you don't want, as I said, you don't want it sticky. And that really is your basic card. And then how you want to finish decorating it is really up to you. And I've decided I'm going to stamp on this. I'm going to be a little bit different. she says. Where have I put the stamp set? I mean, I could actually just put that penguin in that I've already punched out. Maybe that's the thing to do. So it's like waste not, want not. So maybe I'm going to cheat and not stamp after all. But a piece of the paper down the edge, a stamped greeting, a sentiment. Actually, I'm going to put him down there because he's a penguin and he doesn't belong in midair. I'd like to think he doesn't belong in midair. I mean, the daft things don't fly. I mean, they fly through the water, but they don't fly through the air. So, what else have I got to tell you? Oh yes, so we've got Celebration starting next week, which is exciting. The new catalogue goes live, the mini catalogue goes live. Lots of lovely, lovely, lovely things in there. And some cute things. So we've got these penguins. Celebration's got sheep in it. It's a stamp set and a coordinating die. There's stamp sets, there's paper, and there's a couple of dies in the Celebration, which is quite nice. So there we go. So that's that. So that's my almost finished card. So my inside's done, and I will just write a greeting on that. It will stand up quite neatly. If you want, when you come to add things on the front, try and keep them within the square, because obviously if you start pushing them out at the top or the sides, then you're going to have to get a big envelope. Whereas, as I said, this one just neatly fits in a 6x6 inch. Now, what am I going to do? So I've got some sentiments. What are the sentiments? I think I'm just going to do a season's greetings, but what I am going to do, maybe not actually, what I'm going to do, she says, I'll put that out of the way. We might just, they're quite big. I could cheat and just do some more punching of penguins. I was thinking I'll put a penguin each side and then string a sentiment between the two of them. Or I could do a penguin and a polar bear. Maybe, or just a polar bear. So, let's see. It's trying to find one that is a solid image. So, I can use the fox for something else. I know I can. Maybe I'm actually just going to use the polar bear. Save time. Yes, this is rough and ready at the moment. So I have just finished organising my first in-person class of 2021. So this is the first one since crumbs. Must be January or February of last year. Wow. So it's on the 25th of September. It's going to be a Christmas stamper stack. They're usually pretty popular classes, but I'm not going to have lots in the past, and I've done a stamper stack where you can have, well, we've had so many people in there, it's kind of ridiculous, jammed in. But I'm going to restrict it to 8 people this time, and booking for that will be going live at, let's see, later tonight, 8 o'clock this evening. So you'll be able to do that through either my blog, so if you go to oakfieldcrafts.com and then click on classes, kits and stuff on the top, and then click on in-person and Zoom classes. I'll just cut his bit of hair off because I don't think I'm going to really want to cut all the way around that. So yeah, so the in-person bit is restricted to 8 people. But then I'll also be doing it live via Zoom at the same time. And don't fret, I've got people helping me. So Carol, bless her, is going to come and help. Between us, we will be able to carry on talking to everybody and making sure everybody is able to achieve a successful stamping day. I'm going to leave the craft room open that day till 4:30, so people who want to stay can do so. They'll just have to bring their lunch. And yeah, so it's going to be a fun day. It's going to be Zoom and in person. Right. So I've got my penguin, my polar bear, and I'm going to put him over that penguin because he's only a part penguin anyway. There. And then I'm going to stamp my sentiment. So I'm going to stamp. I was going to say I'm going to stamp Season's Greetings, wasn't I? So let's find that bit. It's quite a ticky stamp. That's that, and that's that. And then I need some white now. That's probably too wide. I've got some scrap here, so from bits that were cut off. I'm going to use that for the time being and then see how it goes. Can always cut it down. And I think I'm going to stamp this in Misty Moonlight as well. What else was I saying? Oh yes, so classes, Card and a Cuppa will be back in person too in September, but the first one is actually going to be on the 2nd of September. Oops, that's not very good. Which I know is not a Wednesday, but I'm actually flying back from the States the day before and it doesn't land until like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So I thought I would just do the first one via Zoom on the Thursday morning. So that's the intention. And then the first in-person event will be over at Home Grange on the 15th, which is pretty good going. Right, if I'm putting him here, just need to decide what I'm doing with this. Do I cut it? Anyway, I think you probably get the gist of this now. I don't know if you want to stay with me a little while longer. Lovely if you do. I'm not too worried if you have to dash off, start cooking dinner or whatever that you need to do, because it's what oh actually no, it's only 20 to 4 there where you are. Maybe I'm just going to loop a little bit more off, try and even it out both sides. I can have him holding it like that. And then I'm going to fix him on with some dimensionals. And I don't mind his feet hanging over the edge. It's quite cute. It's like, look at me, and dimensionals. Let's see what I've got left. I've only got little ones, but that's okay. They're handy. So let's put a few on here. So put some on his paws, I think, definitely. Top of his head. And as cute as these things are, if you've got a fairly large image, sometimes you kind of have to put a few on, just to make sure it doesn't sort of warp in the middle. Let's quickly take these off. So I hope you've been enjoying the sneak peeks that I've been sharing on Facebook. This will be going up, the video. Obviously there's a Facebook Live, so it will automatically go up when I've finished. And then it'll go on YouTube. So there's my polar bear. And I'll put that on. Now I could, I don't know if I've got a marker with me. You could like put dots and dashes around it just so that you sort of highlight the edges, but I'm not going to. And then the other thing that I am going to add though is some sequins. I'll show you those in a tick. And again, you can add these or other embellishments. Add some ribbon. I've got very cute ribbon, but it's not really going to go with the colouring on this card, so I'm not going to use it. But what I am going to use, excuse me a second, whilst I see if I can get this to kind of look like he's holding it. Yep, there we go. I've got some of the new sequins, and they're called Subtle Shimmer Sequins, and there's 800 in here, so you don't kind of want to drop them because you'll be there forever and a day picking them up. And they're two different sizes. They're 3mm and 4mm, but they're in 3 different colours. So that, let's see, it's a really tiny one. I don't know if you can see all these. So we have really shiny silver, more of a I don't know, satin finish silver, and then we also have iridescent ones. So, and as I said, they come in 2 different sizes, so you could put them on so you can have them that look quite blingy, like that. Or we can go for a bit of a more subdued look, but I actually quite like the blingy look. What does that one look like? But anyway, I could be sitting here all day just playing with the sequins, but I'm not going to bore you doing that. But so I will glue those ones on in a minute. So that's the finished card. And I hope you've enjoyed watching that. I'll put all the cutting instructions and things up on the Facebook page once I've managed to take the photos and stuff. So that will be later in the week. As I said, the booking for classes will open at 8 o'clock tonight, for the first one being the stamp stack on the 25th of September. Card and a cuppa, you can order your kits now. So those are available to order, and they will be going out endish of August, so that you have them in time for the 2nd of September, but with the first one in person being on the 15th, the 2nd of September being actually a Zoom. Watch out for other ideas that I'll be putting out. Obviously the catalogue goes live on the 3rd. If there's anything that you need or would like, then please email me. I still have access and stuff to my emails. I just can't get to my get my phone. Because I've had to switch my SIM cards. It'll all be sorted back again when I get back to the UK, but at the moment I can't pick up any messages and things, so please email me at fiona@oakvilleCrafts.com if there's stuff that you would like me to order for you. Alternatively, you can shop online, of course. And that's it for today, and I will be back next Wednesday, same time, same place, and I'll see you soon. Bye!